Alright, ya magnificent bastards. Ya asked, ya begged, ya harassed the absolute shite out of me. And by you, I mean specifically Dragon 0349. You relentless, beautiful pain in the arse. This video's your fault. Every single frame. So, I hope you're watching, you Autobot apologist. This one's for you. Today, we're asking the curse question: what would happen if Transformers from the Transformers Prime got yeeted straight into the 40k universe? Would Cybertron survive the warp? Would Megatron slap Abaddon in the face? Or would Optimus Prime finally break and just start glassing planets like it's Halo 3? And no, I'm not starting with Unicron. That bastard is getting his own segment. He deserves it, and you'll see why. Trust me. Now, before we start throwing giant alien robots into the meat grinder, that is the 40k universe, let's cover the bare bones basics. Because apparently, some of you didn't grow up with Transformers Prime, and that's a crime against Saturday morning cartoons. Transformers are sentient, shape-shifting robot lifeforms from the planet Cybertron. They can reforge their bodies into vehicles, weapons, and whatever else is useful for dramatic entrances. They don't just drive somewhere, they are the somewhere, powered by Energon, their lifeblood and energy source. They range from titanic warlords like Optimus Prime and Megatron to stealth specialists like Soundwave to how are you still bloody alive, you disaster like Starscream. In the Prime continuity, these aren't just walking toasters, these are century-old warriors with alien tech that makes Space Marine gear look like some Nerf toys. But now you've heard all that, let's talk about setup. So let's say, for some reason, lost to time and probably involving a space bridge, some time travel bollocks, and Starscream doing something monumentally stupid, the entire planet of Cybertron gets thrown through the void and crash lands into the Segmentum Obscurus, right next to Cadia's smoking remains. Because of course it does. Cybertron hits the 40k galaxy at its peak. No, not half-dead husk from the later show. No, this is peak Transformers Prime era, with Optimus Prime fully operational, Megatron with the Darksaber and a god complex, and Ratchet cranky as hell, Soundwave doing eldritch mime things, and Starscream still somehow not dead. But here's the real kicker. We're working with the full Cybertronian population. The population of Cybertron is never explicitly confirmed in the Prime continuity, but it's implied that there were millions of Cybertronians existing before the war. The war, of course, killing, or scattering, most of them. But since we're talking pre-war-ish, Prime era, Cybertron restored by the Allspark, I'm estimating roughly 6 to 10 million Cybertronians across various castes, high-ranking war machines such as Megatron and Optimus Prime, and some of the Seekers, elite tacticians, Ultra Magnus and Shockwave, support units, medics, scouts, miners, and Viacon-style mass-produced grunts. That's several million nigh-immortal transforming alien robots suddenly dropping into a universe where gods scream into walls and everything hates you by default. So let's dive in. Right, so picture this. a Mechanicus exploratory fleet is cruising through some warp-ravaged arse end of the Segmentus Obscurus when they detect a planet-sized structure they've never seen before. No records, no Imperial diagrams, but the tech readings, they're off the bloody charts. Could it be a lost STC? One of the mutters, already half chubbing under his robe. Cue the entire ship crew erecting in binary, furiously praying to the Omnissiah when their cogitators shit themselves trying to translate an alien signal. They hail the object and it answers. Ratchet picks up. Now, keep in mind, Ratchet is a grumpy, cynical, overworked bastard who has survived multiple wars, and an idiot yellow child named Bumblebee, and Megatron's narcissistic outbursts. He takes one look at the incoming Vox feed, scans the Mechanicus ship, and says, "Organic life detected. Rampant mutations. Zealot tech cult. Several outdated engineering principles. Systematic rot. Conclusion. This entire fucking species is a walking OSHA violation." The Mechanicus interprets this, naturally, as heresy of the highest order. A sentient machine questioning their divine tech cult. Unthinkable. Sacrilegious. Burnable. One of them screams in binary, "The machine spirit has become self-aware. Purge it in holy fire," and shouting. They try to enslave Bumblebee. Yes, Bumblebee. A bright yellow death frisbee who takes down Decepticons with his bare hands and his childlike rage. Their tech priests try to turn him into a toaster. It goes poorly. Within 13 seconds, Bumblebee transforms mid-grapple, snaps a Skitari's spine with his chest, and suplexes a goddamn Mechanicus battle servitor into a reactor core. That poor bastard gets turned into red mist and old screws. Meanwhile, Optimus Prime arrives and tries to do diplomatic relations, because he's still clinging to this naive little hope that somewhere, deep down, sentient life might be worth saving. The Mechanicus' response? Orbital fucking bombardment! They call him a machine heretic, a xeno false horde, and they nuke part of Cybertron's upper atmosphere. Optimus Prime stares into the flames like a disappointed father and just mutters, "Regrettable." Then gives the command, "Return fire." And everything goes to hell. The Autobots mobilize instantaneously. Within moments, the skies are swarming with Seekers, Wreckers, and grizzled veteran psychopaths with lasers built into their kneecaps. Cybertron's orbital defense network, which can punt a hole through the moon, activates and turns the Mechanicus fleet into glorified space confetti. And just when you think it's all over, the Inquisition finds out, and now everyone is screaming. The Ecclesiarchy wants to burn them for being walking blasphemy. The Adeptus Astartes are arguing over whether or not they should respect Optimus or stab him with a chainsword. The Sisters of Battle are preparing holy water and melter guns like they're going against Satan himself. And the High Lords of Terror, they're just collectively shitting themselves and hoping this entire mess kills itself off before reaching Holy Terror. Meanwhile, back on Cybertron, Starscream is screaming, "Yesy, yesy, I told you they'd attack first," while simultaneously planning to betray Megatron again, in a new and exciting doomed way. And Ratchet just sighs and goes back to patching up a Viacon who got his eye shot out with a bolter. So here we are. Cybertron has been attacked. The Inquisition, busy having an exorcism on their own navigational computer. And Optimus Prime, bless his metallic soul, is still trying to do things the nice way. "We come in peace," he says. Translation: "We would rather not reduce your species to carbon and screams, if we can help it." The Imperium, in its infinite stubbornness and tolerance, immediately responds by calling 3 Exterminatus level strikes, labeling Optimus as a blasphemous golden voice machine demon of unclean logic, and declaring Cybertron as a tech heretic world. Optimus watches another Autobot city get vaporized, and finally snaps. He orders the planets to return fire. The planet itself shifts. Automatic planetary defenses, the size of a hive city, rise from beneath the crust. Powered by Energon and anger, locked on Imperial warships, the Autobots form a battle line. Now remember, these bastards are powered by liquid hyper energy extracted from the fabric of existence. They can tank plasma, melta bolters, and screaming demon swords. The Imperium throws everything it has. Astra Militarum deploys regiments, Astartes boarding parties, orbital bombardments, screaming fanatics with chainswords, and the Autobots. They cut through Lehman Rust tanks like it's made of cheese wire and wishful thinking. Energon rifles disintegrate whole squads. Grimlock punches through a Baneblade. Ironhide snipes a Thunderhawk with a rocket that was lodged in his leg. They don't just resist, they adapt. They transform through it. 1 minute a car, the next minute a war crime in motion. Meanwhile, Megatron is watching all of this and doing the Decepticon equivalent of nutting in a fusion cannon. A galaxy ruled by weak flesh, decaying empires, and false gods. Mine now. Megatron wastes no time. He charges into a Forge world with a full Decepticon battle group. He slaughters everything that breathes, beats a Knight Titan to death with his bare hand, and then converts the entire planet into an Energon refinery / death camp. He even renames it to Forge World Megatronus. Starscream, of course, tries to betray him immediately. He gives a stirring speech about leadership, destiny, and why he should rule the Decepticons, right before Soundwave chucks him into another coma and files the footage under Starscream Fails compilation volume 98. Oh, and speaking of Soundwave, Soundwave has kidnapped the Grey Knight, not for interrogation or torture, but for data extraction, which in this case means violently removing his brain while playing dubstep. The Grey Knights feel this. They start praying louder, and Chaos gets curious. It can't be heresy if they don't have souls, right? Here's where shit gets spicy. The Warp starts noticing. Now, the Warp is basically A sentient ocean made of screaming and nightmares, corrupted thoughts and horny thoughts with too many tentacles. It feeds on emotions, on souls. Cybertronians don't have souls, they have sparks, pure fragments of Primus, essentially many gods of logic and energy. No demons, no corruption, no fear, just calm, calculated urge to kick your teeth in. The Chaos Gods try anyway. Nurgle sends plague flies. They dissolve on contact with Ratchet's disinfecting cannon. Cybertron is now cleaner than before the war started. Zinch attempts to corrupt Starscream with forbidden knowledge. Starscream gaslights him into giving him free warp mutations, and then immediately tries to backstab him, and then fails again. Zinch is now depressed. Slaanesh attempts to seduce RC, and then gets kicked so hard she flies through 6 warp rifts, loses 2 mouths, and develops a fear of motorcycles. Korn watches Grimlock eat a bloodthirster's spine like it's a kebab, and immediately goes, "Yes! This one is good. I like this one. Make him a demon prince." Grimlock goes, "Me Grimlock. Me no like demons. Me punch gods." And then it gets worse, because Shockwave, cold calculating, war crime in a lab coat Shockwave, figures out how to manipulate warp energy using Cybertronian logic. No emotions, no psychers, just cold calculating science and quantum hacking. And a giant fucking gun made from stolen demons and math. Now the Mechanicus is having a multi-system fit. The Eldar are packing their bags, and the Necrons are waking up early just to tell them all to shut the fuck up. Now the galaxy goes full tits up. The Decepticons team up with Chaos for exactly 5 minutes. Megatron and Abaddon have a disagreement about who gets to wear more spikes and start punching each other over a Blackstone fortress. The fortress implodes, neither of them die, and Starscream blames the Tal. Meanwhile, Optimus tries to broker peace with the Tal. They get along for about 20 minutes, until the Tal realize Cybertron can out-tech them, out-develop them, including stealth, power, AI, and not being eaten by a giant worm. So the Tal panic and fire first. The Autobots sigh, and the greater good gets turned into the greater scrap. Oh boy, the Tyranids show up. They try to eat Cybertron. They fail spectacularly. See, Transformers aren't just hard to digest. They bite back. The hive mind gets confused, and a Dinobot fuses with Tyranid biomass. Shockwave starts running some experiments, and suddenly, now, there's biotransforming fusion rage monsters with teeth made of plasma and the ability to turn into a jet-powered mutant chicken. A hive fleet gets eaten by Cybertronian Tyranid hybrids that scream in dubstep while ripping a hive tyrant apart like it's Christmas turkey. The hive mind begins to fear. The galaxy is burning again. This time to the tune of thousands of transforming bastards revving their engines and screaming, "I am the future, bitch!" Now listen, I wasn't going to include this bastard because honestly, he deserves his own bloody video. But fine, here's the deal. Unicron is, in any continuity, terrifying. But in the Transformers Prime, he's literally the core of planet Earth. A multiversal entity of pure corruption and ambition. He's essentially a chaos god, just made of gears and hate, and planetary-sized teeth. If he wakes up in the 40k universe, he's eating craft worlds like crisps, laughing at the Eye of Terror. He might become the 5th Chaos God, or worse. He consumes the 4 existing. You thought Tyranids were bad? Try a Titan-sized god-tier planet eater who corrupts reality and eats souls. And remember, he's already beaten Primus, the Cybertronian god. So yeah, you want Unicron in full force? Comment, like, subscribe, beg, or else he gets his own video and I'll make it worse. So there you have it. Could the Transformers invade the 40k galaxy? Aye, they wouldn't just invade, they'd transform it. But remember, this entire mess, this was all your fault, Dragon03249. You kept asking, you kept commenting, and now you're getting your own goddamn Discord role. Cybertronian nuisance, or something like that. And as always, you magnificent bastards, remember to check your warp signature. Remember to double tap your Necron. And remember, if your truck starts talking to you, it's probably already too late. So have a killing day, you bloody legends. And I'll see ya in the next one.